Live. Come on now. I got it set up. All right, we're live right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on YouTube. You guys can join me now. And we're live on Instagram. And we're live on Facebook. And we're live on a lot of different places right now. We are cooking with grease. Make sure when you join the live on YouTube, that is why I have the address right here. It's youtube.com/ICGreen1 for you all to join and join the discussion. Let me take off this hat for the night. Take off this do-rag for the night. Cause the braids are popping right now. Let me give my head some relief. I'm live on YouTube right now. youtube.com/ICGreen1 if y'all want to join me and join the conversation. That'd be super dope. Tonight's discussion, let me see. So let me hook this back up too. I'm doing a little hooking up, little maintenance work over here. So there we go. So now it's a little easier for me. What's up, y'all? Tonight's discussion. What up, Sassy? Tonight's discussion on The Look Live. It is January 19th, just after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm your host with the most like butter on your breakfast toast. I'm bringing the conversation that may change your situation, but you're going to have to be patient because we're going to have to work through this whole thing. What I want to know, tonight's discussion, what's up, Rose? I want to welcome everybody in the live. Listen, when you join the live, it is customary that you say hello. You say, that you're here, you know what I'm saying, and let me know that you're online with me tonight. So I'd appreciate that. No, I'm not wearing my glasses tonight, you know what I'm saying? But every other episode, yes, you will see me wearing my glasses. I just know that I get comments about y'all not, about me not wearing my glasses or whatever because y'all can't see my eyes. But Amor, I see you. Thank you. What's up? She said, love you back. Barbie girl, what's happening? So check this out. We're going to let the room populate a little bit, let a few more people get in the live or whatnot. But y'all see, the question is, I'm going to run this so y'all can see this.
You go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you?
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would make him richer.
Wow.
Because there's difference, between a good wife and being a bad wife. Because if you always stress him, he will never make it. And if you always take his time and you don't care about his future, what he really wants to achieve, then you will never get a rich man.
Do y'all hear that?
Just because a man sleeps with another.
You go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you?
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would.
Now, I will be running this back. What up, Day Day? We're live right now. For those of you who are joining me on TikTok and on Facebook and everywhere else, we're live right now on YouTube.com. And the discussion is, could you date a man that earned less than you? And I have a video that you guys can see if you join on YouTube. You guys heard it on TikTok, but you didn't see it. Hey, thanks, Day Day. So, you know what I mean? I think it leaves room for a lot of conversation. I love what she says, actually. Like, I really am, I'm really impressed by her maturity when it comes to what she said about, dating a man who earned less than you. What up, Jared? We here, man. We here. Ladies, say what's up to Jared. Jared, say what's up to the ladies in live. We are also running this on the podcast right now, you know what I'm saying, so that you guys can at least go back and listen to this conversation and enjoy that. And I know some of y'all are happy, so I know somebody who's really thrilled about that. It's long overdue for me to have this discussion, to be putting myself in a place where we can have these discussions about these different topics. All right. So we here, and this is the second live that we've done in conjunction with The Look Live. So last week we spoke, this conversation was on last week.
Just because a man sleeps with another woman does not mean he doesn't still respect you. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. No, she means nothing to him. And if you think I'm gonna give up my life for a man that loves me and respects me and take care of me, he didn't claim her. He put that ring on my finger. Okay. So why am I gonna leave over someone that doesn't mean anything? He's a man. He's just gonna be a man. That's it. My soon-to-be husband, he treats me well. He respects me. I don't have to ask for anything. But at the same time, I also do what I'm supposed to do with a woman. I cook, I clean, I suck, I fuck, I shut the fuck up. So I know how to keep my man.
Wow. So listen, if you guys missed that conversation last week, it is available for you to it's uploaded on YouTube already, and you guys can go back and watch that. The comment section was really full. Amora says it doesn't matter how much money he makes, it's about building with each other. And Amora's comment wasn't to the last video let's play, but it's to this video right here. Check this out.
You go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you.
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would make him richer.
Wow.
Because there's difference, between a good wife and being a bad wife. Because if you always stress him, he will never make it. And if you always take his time and you don't care about his future, what he really wants to achieve, then you will never get a rich man.
I always kind of when I hear this, I don't know if that's the perspective that a majority of the women that are out there have. Day Day says you have to be his rock. Day Day, are you with us live on YouTube? You should come on over to YouTube. But the support base is different nowadays. When it comes to people who are chasing their dreams. There is a difference especially for the creatives out there. What you guys are running to, ladies, what you're running to, whether it's a singer or an actual artist who paints or somebody who's in the entrepreneurial stage of their lives, it is absolutely welcome to the live, Dana. It's actually, I always say this in relationships, right? And it goes back to a funny story that when I met Tamar Braxton for the first time, I was an up-and-coming producer, and I hadn't really had my break yet. You know what I mean? I didn't have any songs out or anything like that. And she was also had not been successful yet in her career. She was a Braxton sister, so of course that gave her some kind of that gave her some leverage and some room to move or whatnot. But when I met her, it was really brief. You know what I mean? It was I was at this club, this really popular club in Atlanta called Club 112, and I remember going. If you were in Atlanta around the time the Club 112 off of Cheshire Bridge Road was lit, then Atlanta was super popping. When I say that, everywhere in Atlanta was, I do know it's you, Day. Atlanta was super, super crazy. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, all the club sets, especially the clubs that we would go to, were lit. You had Club 112, you had Atlanta Nights, you had Kaya, you had Visions, you had it's just everywhere you wanted to go and kick it and party, it was lit. Like it was super lit. So at this time, 112 was one of those clubs that stayed open till like 8 in the morning. Like you would go in 112, and when I tell you there was a line outside the door of 112 at like 3 or 4 in the morning. That's how popping this particular club was. Atlanta Nights closed at around 3 o'clock in the morning or whatnot, but 112 they let that thing stay open all the time. So it was always a line out the door. And fortunately for me, my relationships and friendships that I had at the time afforded me the ability to kind of move. I didn't have to wait in line. You know what I'm saying? That was not a thing for us. So this particular night, walking to the club, I'm chilling. I'm looking fly, but I'm just kind of chill. If y'all ever see me move around, you know what I'm saying? I'm low key, but then I'm kind of, I'm popping in the same breath. You know what I'm saying? So I go, I'm moving around, and when I first got to Atlanta, I was working out of this major studio called Patchwork Studio. Bob Whitfield and Curtis Daniels were the ones who were owning it and running it, and Laura was someone who worked there and was real, she was kind of like, I don't want to say A&R, but she was she was the meet and greet person. Like everybody knew Laura, everybody liked Laura, you know what I'm saying? She was that personable person that worked there. And so she knew of me in terms of me working there a whole lot. Like I worked there a lot when I first got to Atlanta. That's where I was at. I was at Patchwork Studio if I was working out at any place. And so she was at the club this night, and she came up to me and she was like, my girl want to holler at you. And I was like, who's your girl? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause she didn't outright say it. She's like, Tamar. And I was like, okay. Cause I I didn't know Tamar as a Braxton or anything. I just knew the name Tamar. So she introduced Tamar and said she's Tony Braxton's sister. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So she comes over. She was gorgeous, you know what I'm saying, fly and the whole nine, you know what I'm saying. She was like, hey, how you doing? We was having a cool conversation, and she was like, what you do? Now, typically, and this might have been one of the reasons why I learned this way of moving around, you know what I'm saying? She asked me, what do I do? Now, today, in today's, or even since that moment, I want to say maybe shortly after that, I devised that a way of communicating that I would not answer the application, so to speak, upon people meeting me. The application is where you work at, how much money you make, all those personal things. Those I have to wait. I don't introduce those personal conversations into the mix. And this might have been partly why, because the minute I told her, I'm like, yo, I write and produce, she was like, yo, is it, you did anything I could have heard of? You know what I'm saying? You had anything out? And I was like, nah, not yet, but it's coming, right? And she was like, oh, okay. And then she's like, okay, it was nice meeting you. I was like, all right, it was nice meeting you too. I said, but you leaving? What's up? She was like, yeah. She was like, you cute and all, but 2 starving artists can't make it. You know what I mean? She was like, I'm hustling to do my thing. You hustling to do your thing. It's just not going to work out. And it's kind of one of those things that also help foster my conversation around relationships. For any of you who are 9-to-5ers, you're the solid one. You know what I mean? Usually the solid one is the one who works the 9-to-5, or the solid one is the one who went to school for their profession. When I know it was kind of rude, Dana, but I was cool. Dana said it was rude. I can appreciate her upfrontness as well. You know what I'm saying? I knew she was about that money, and then based off of the way her life and career has gone, she was about that money too, still about that money. So she wasn't being away or associating with me in a way that clearly, wasn't what she was looking for. She knew what she wanted. I wasn't it at the time. She wasn't willing to do what this young lady is saying in this video. And here's the reason why. I do understand that how did I say it? 2 people who are entrepreneurial or like floating, you know what I'm saying? Floating in the air, can't connect with each other. What's up, Jamie? We're live on YouTube right now. If you guys want to join us and see me have this conversation, you guys can join us over there. YouTube.com/ICGREEN1. So when you have 2 entities trying to be together, and this is why they say opposites attract, right? This all kind of goes together. If you have 2 people who are off and pursuing their dreams at the same time, and they're both dedicated to the success of it, it's difficult for one person to put their career on the backseat to support the other. It's just a challenge to do that. So that selfishness that's required for success does not support relationships where 2 people are chasing the same thing. Now, on the flip side of that, the 2 people who are doing the 9-to-5 things, the challenge with that relationship is that it becomes mundane and sometimes it's boring. You know what I'm saying? It's like 9-to-5 and then, or 9-to-6 or 7 or whatever the case may be, depending on your job. Now, if you're trying to excel at your job, it works the same way. Like if 2 people are 9-to-5ers and they're trying to excel, it's just difficult for you to make time for a relationship because the demands of being successful, not only in business, but in creative arts and things like that, they require 10 to 12 hours, if not more, of your time. Anyone who's been successful in business will tell you they spend an absorbent amount of time living in the life of whatever it is they're trying to do. So if you're somebody who's trying to move up the ladder at your job, well, you're not doing what everybody else is doing. You're stepping above and beyond, and you're staying later. You're taking on more work caseload, and it's harder for you to wipe that off when you leave the job. So now you bring that work attitude home, which is not conducive of a relationship because your mindset, like to be a boss, you have to behave like a boss. And it's hard for people who do that to wipe that off in relationships. So you get people who are speaking to people in a way that doesn't support that loving and tender relationship kind of thing. It's challenging, but that's how it is sometimes. So to hear this young lady in this video, and I'm going to play it again really quickly so you guys can hear it.
You go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you.
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would make him richer.
Wow.
Because
That part right there, I will make him richer. I smile every time I hear that because that is one of the best answers to that conversation I've ever heard. Ladies, you guys have the power to build or you have the power to deconstruct. You all are so powerful that used recklessly, you can break a man completely down and, you know, make a man do things, you know, you can challenge. It's painful when I think of what some women have reduced their man to because of the way that they communicated with them. And then in turn, you all have seen examples of great women who have made their mates greater. You know what I'm saying? Like it really matters when y'all speak life into your life and your situation. Like you should really pay extra attention to how you communicate your love for somebody. It should be love for them as a person and the relationship, but it also has to be love for what they do and what they're, you know, they are obsessed with, so to speak. So when I see these celebrity relationships and it's two celebrities, I'm like, the only way those situations truly work out is if they've already in their separate way have become ridiculously successful. Then they don't have to lean on each other so much. Because they also have outside help to help cover any of the extra stuff. They got a team of people, you know what I'm saying? They have a village to help them with their thing. Now, a quick commercial break. For those of you who are on my YouTube, there is a way that you can press the like button for the thumbs up over there. That'd be super great if you could do that. And there's a share button where you can share the live. We are live on YouTube right now for anybody who's joining on TikTok or any. If you want to be a part of the conversation, just join us on youtube.com/ICGREEN1. For those of you who are here, hit the like button in order to, there you go, I see it. Thank you so much. You guys hit the like button. The like button should equal the amount of people in the live, but of course it's a revolving door, so some people have come in and are going. J Pearl, I appreciate the subscription on TikTok. I'm live on YouTube live right now, and the address is on the green screen that you guys are seeing right there. But I was saying celebrity relationships are difficult, right? And this is why a lot of celebrity relationships are a celebrity marrying someone who's not a celebrity so that they don't challenge the selfishness that it takes for them to continue to be a celebrity. You know, when you hear these celebrities at these award shows giving their thanks and those kind of things, they're almost always saying, hey, I want to thank my significant other for holding me down, for being there, you know what I'm saying, for filling in the gaps of doing the things that aren't celebrity-like. You know what I mean? It's when you see these breakups from these two celebrities, it's because they both require or have worked to acquire this presence in the community, you know what I'm saying? And it's difficult to maintain that when you're in the shadow of somebody else. It takes a very humble group of people to do that. And then they're not super duper pronounced. So like Vance and she played Tina Turner. It always slips my mind. Angela Bassett and her husband. You know, they are a celebrity couple that works, but they're also super low key. Their relationship is understated. You know what I'm saying? You really don't know they're together until you actually see them at a red carpet event or something like that. And that kind of it helps to balance. Dana said there's also those who are very successful and get a big ego and decide to limit the wife even though she does hold him down. Well, Dana, that's another segment of those relationships, and I spoke a little bit about this before. And see if you can rock with this for me. There are those who are in relationships with an entrepreneur, meaning you're the 9-to-5er. What up, Davey? You're the 9-to-5er, and they're the person that's chasing their dreams. The challenge becomes, this is not an overnight thing. What people think is that this success comes really quickly. And for those of you who have ever held somebody down, you know it takes about 2 to 3 years of them really going after their dreams and really having the support. Now, again, what I used to say to girls when I got in relationships with them while I was building my career was, you're going to have to be a very special girl to be with me. I have to be selfish for my career. I owe too many people, meaning there's so many people that count on me to be successful. There's so many people who sacrificed for me in my career, in my past, that I am doing this not only for myself, but to make them proud as well because they invested so much in me. In doing that, the road to this breakthrough is taxing on the 9-to-5er. It's taxing on the person who's been holding it down. The women, when women are holding down guys that are chasing their dreams, whether rappers, singers, basketball players, whatever the case may be, it is super challenging. And it requires you to be a super woman, not in any other way other than your attitude and your presence. Similar to what she said. Now I need to let this thing play. I'm gonna stop it at the part where this makes reference to. Check this out.
You go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you.
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would make him richer.
Wow.
Because there's difference, between a good wife and being a bad wife. Because if you always stress him, he will never make it.
Boom. Did y'all hear what she said? Do y'all hear what she said? She said, if you stress him, he will never make it. Now, I don't completely agree with that, right? Sometimes that stress adds fuel to the fire, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it also adds resentment. Resentment is built when a person is out here hustling and putting their all into it, and you as a support person know this and should be supporting it and kind of understanding, and don't. And your attitude and the way you communicate, you start becoming resentful. You start feeling like a person's ungrateful and all that. So on the way to the success, it is being challenged. Yeah, I know. Davey said you are speaking truth that people may not want to hear. I understand that, but this is how. So Davey LaRon is a musician as well, and I've known him practically all my life. And he knows, because we were in a successful group and we saw the way that, being in a relationship would be extremely taxing on any woman that wanted to date any of us, because there's also the air of celebrity that we have to support as a talent. And this is how it works for anyone who's entrepreneurial and chasing their dreams. They have to be, and again, like he said, y'all not going to want to hear this, but they're going to have to be not cocky, but not conceited, but kind of little cocky, meaning you have to be so sure of yourself that everyone buys into whatever it is that you are representing. Then they also have to be a slight bit flirtatious or manipulative, if you want to use either one of those, which means I have to be able to convince you to support me for my talent, you know what I mean? But I'm also, you know what I'm saying, especially when it's depending on who your support base is, you still have to cater to them as well. The challenge is your mate or whomever you with will see, and feel some kind of way. Amora says stress causes anxiety and depression in a relationship. Absolutely. But again, stress is something. Danielle, we're over here live on YouTube, so you could join us there. When it comes to stress and those kind of matters, I know people like to say other people cause them stress. I always lean back to this, and it is, you are in control of you and how you consume. How you regurgitate. Consuming whatever is what people try to do to you. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever negativity they bring to the table. How you recycle that is the part that you have to manage. You are in control. I can't let people stress me out, because if I let people or things stress me out, it would happen every day. Like I'll be bald head right now. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a reason to stress. This is why I communicate to y'all about self-control. Self-control happens on so many different levels that you can't let the outside world permeate your peace. You can't let the outside world challenge how you feel and how you want to move. It's necessary that area of your life you're in complete control of, because when you're not in control, then who's in control? That's the part that adds the anxiety. You don't know what's going on. Things are happening to you and not for you. It's a whole thing. You know what I mean? It's a whole cycle that you have to manage. But she said she won't add stress. That is amazing. Now, let me tell you, it's hard as I don't know what to do. It is a complete challenge to do. But if you're able to support somebody long enough for their breakthrough without causing them to resent the way that you support it, and that's exactly what I want to say. Support is great when people are genuinely excited about what their way of supporting you, and it costs you nothing. When I say that, I mean your support of me shouldn't cause me stress. It shouldn't cost me my happiness. It shouldn't cost me my well-being. Your support of me shouldn't cause me, a different attitude and personality or whatnot. And sometimes that's what happens. People support you so hard that they forget that they were supposed to be supporting you for something positive, which turns into a negative situation. So when we see these celebrities, divorcing these girls or breaking up with these girls that they would that kind of nurtured their career, it's because there was so much resentment on the way. There was so much energy that was negative that they're like, yo, and it continues, it bleeds over into the success side of it. And they're like, yo, I ain't supposed to be successful and upset. I'm not supposed to be successful and unhappy. I'm not supposed to be successful and still dealing with the things that irked me on the way here. You know what I'm saying? Sassy says, I agree. When I feel like I'm stressed, I get by myself and regroup. You have to. Because it's a self thing. Amor says, if you and your partner is not in the same book, on the same page with your goals and support, then the frequency will always be off. Yes and no, right? Amor, you don't have to be on the same page. You just have to be able to show the right kind of support. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to be, as long as you know that what I'm doing for us. And I know that's the part where you mean about same book on the same page with your goals and support. But the support doesn't have to be the same. You know what I mean? Because it's outside of the scope of something that they would do or how they would manage. So you have to give them some grace there. But again, it goes back to personality and how you persevere in these situations. If you cannot bring me joy during the toughest parts, if you're not uplifting me during the toughest parts, you're an anchor. And now I build this resentment up, and I'm only managing this situation up until the point of the success and the breakthrough. And when the breakthrough happens, then there's a decision now, because now that support that I needed you to give me, I got 10, 20 people willing to give me that same support without the baggage that you created that comes with your support. Now I can get away from the negative history that you brought into this glorious moment that we're supposed to be sharing. But people carry that energy. You know, when they say keep that same energy, that should not be a slogan. The unless the energy and the way you pursued it was positive, and the experience on the way to success. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be no bumps in the road, but when you're supporting somebody, you have to do it with love and patience. Those are the main ingredients. Patience is by far the greatest one, but then also consistency. And you all hear me speak about consistency quite frequently because it is the foundation of breakthrough. It is the reason why people maintain or gain success. It's from consistency. But some people can be consistent at being bad. Some people can be consistent at being negative. So you have to shape that as well. You have to make sure that what you're offering or what you're adding isn't ultimately subtracting. Some people think they're helping when they're hurting. You know what I mean? That part of it has to be managed and pushed to the forefront. I don't think people, I know you mean well, but if I'm telling you that it's not supportive, it's not helping, hopefully you will adjust it without catching an attitude, thinking that the only way to get what we both want out of this whole thing is your way and no way. It takes patience and understanding. And then when you have the formula, you work the formula till you get the breakthrough. There are always small tweaks, but it shouldn't be so much tweaking that a person builds the resentment from it. You know what I'm saying? Commercial break real quick. Yo, if you're in the live right now and you've joined me on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or Instagram or any of the other places that you join me, please hit the thumbs up button on YouTube or whatnot. I appreciate that a whole lot. If you're here on TikTok, you guys know I've got the banner set up so you know that we're live on YouTube.com. For those of you who are not subscribed, now's a great time to subscribe to the channel, not only here, but on TikTok, Twitch, and all those other social media sites that I have so that you guys can join the conversation that'll change your situation. Now, I'm going to play the ending part of this because, again, I completely enjoy. Yep, or let a distraction in. You're absolutely right, Amor. I completely enjoy this conversation. Check it out, y'all. Let's go here.
You go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you.
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would make him richer.
Wow.
Because there's difference, between a good wife and being a bad wife. Because if you always stress him, he will never make it. And if you always take his time and you don't care about his future, what he really wants to achieve, then you will never get a rich man.
She is saying that you all, I think it's understanding your power as a woman. I think that it is understanding your power as a woman that ultimately defines how your relationship will go. Like, real talk. Let's talk about it. Y'all are superheroes who either you don't know your superpower, which is unfortunate, or you don't care that you have this superpower, or you use this superpower recklessly. You all can change a person's day, a life, a moment with small things. Ladies, life is so simple when you're involved and you're happy. Man, and your happiness should not be predicated on the man in your life. Your light should shine regardless of if you're single, if you're engaged, if you got a boyfriend, none of that. Your light should shine regardless. It's the light that you shine that will attract the person that will appreciate that light. Now, of course, it's a light. And all the mosquitoes going to get drawn to the light. So you got to use your discernment, and you got to already kind of, your experience should help you based off of what you've been through. But that light should shine, and it should be, the source of that light should come from within you. It is not a requirement for someone else to keep you happy. It's your job to be happy first and foremost, and it's their job to support that happiness. That's it. That's our role together. You can't blame me for you not being happy. That's a self thing. You got to start with you. So before you get into these relationships, you should have it sorted out, the things that make you happy, the things that you enjoy. And then that should ultimately give you enough opportunities to vet the men that are going to come into your life that will either support that or take away from it. And it should be easy. Like, you should know right away. Like your soul, your spirit should be guiding you based off of the frequency of the people that you've invited into your life. It's so simple. It's so simple to use that energy, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll be easier to support that person. Like she said, you guys have the ability to create millionaires. Real talk. And if it's done with love and if you do it from a place where your intentions are good and pure, then you should reap the benefits of that investment. It's usually those people and personalities who have challenged that, you know what I'm saying, that energy, and have found themselves on the outside of that engagement, unfortunately. That's the part that should be, we should take into consideration. I don't think a lot of people take that part of it into consideration, that you are investing in, it's a long-term investment, supporting somebody. It's a long-term investment. And if you can grasp that and are up to the challenge, like I said, it's not easy. It's not meant to be, You
go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you.
And she answered that so quickly. Could you go into a relationship with a man that earns more? She said, yes, I would. And then she said, why? You know what I'm saying? When you ask yourself that, you know what I'm saying? I know we're taught different. Yep, add me, Alexis. I know that a majority of you people, I should actually go on the streets. You know what I'm saying? What's tonight? Friday? It's 10:50. The only reason why I won't go out right now and do this because it's kind of chilly. But honestly, I should go out and ask people, hey, would you date a man that earned less than you? And then follow up with the question is, well, how much do you think he should earn? Because I believe that the conversation would be in public. Genuine girls will say yes, and they might support it with the same reasons that this young lady did. But then there are going to be those that say no. And then I want to know, well, how much do you think he should be making? You know, where should that line be drawn at? You know what I'm saying? How much do you think he should be making? Because that's a real question. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a couple of content creators go out and ask those questions, and I got one. Maybe I'll follow it up with that next week. There was a young girl who said that her guy should make $500,000. Now, when I show you this clip, I'm absolutely, you know what? That's going to be next week's clip. Is I want y'all to understand, like, I want y'all to really grasp how delusional some people are out here. But she said $500,000, as if making $500,000 a year is that easy for some. You know what I'm saying? So when I post that clip, you guys, y'all are gonna have a field day with it. You know what I'm saying? And it was hilarious when I saw it. And it's going to be hilarious when you see it. I promise you, you're going to look at this video. You're going to look at it and you're going to be like, really? Really, lady? You really? And I don't want to give it away is the reason why I'm not diving too far into it. But the young lady in this clip is very it's very realistic, her approach and her thought process. I can only appreciate it. What up, listener reason? And then, so the clip from last week, I want to play that again real quickly because there is some truth to it, and then there's some delusion to it, and then there's a complete disconnect. And you guys, like I said, you guys can go back and comment on last week's video. It is posted on my page, but check this out.
Just because a man sleeps with another woman does not mean he doesn't still respect you.
Boom. I didn't break this down before, but it absolutely does mean he doesn't respect you. He's sleeping with another chick. Where's the respect in that? Okay, let me keep going.
That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you.
It absolutely means that he is compromising your love. He has devalued your love. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
No, she means nothing to him. And if you think I'm gonna...
She said she means nothing to him. So now you got to go back and evaluate the man. If the man is having meaningless relationships with people that, you know, it aren't significant in your life, but the significance hurts you because of the disrespect, because of him being disloyal, then that should come into play. And the fact that it doesn't is already a red flag. Let's keep listening.
Give up my life for a man that loves me and respects me and take...
She keeps saying loves me and respects me, but a majority of, I'll just ask you, I'm going to poll you guys right quick. Everybody in my live right now, answer me this. Do you agree with her that if a man cheats, that he still loves and respects you? Can a man cheat and still love and respect you? I'm asking on all of my socials right now. I'm just curious to what you guys think. If a man cheats, can he truly love and respect you? I'm just curious. I was gonna tell you that I believe, you know what I'm saying, I don't think so. You know what I mean? I don't think so. You know, when men cheat, that's done with when people cheat, let me just say this, it's done hoping not to get caught. So I don't know where that's a respectful thing, and I don't know where the love is in that, but it's done under the guise that they won't get caught doing it, and that's why they do it. Sassy says no. Alexis says no. Listener Reason says wow. I'm gonna play the rest of this.
Care of me. He didn't claim her. He put that ring on my finger.
Okay.
So why am I gonna leave over someone that doesn't mean anything? He's a man. He's just gonna be a...
He's a man. He's just gonna be a man. Now I don't know if that should be said that way. I don't feel like that represents all men. Like it's almost saying all men cheat and they're gonna do what they're gonna do because they're men. I don't like that.
My soon-to-be husband, like, He treats me well. He respects me.
Now, she said my soon-to-be husband, meaning she doesn't have the husband yet, but yet she describes the situation as if it's happening now. Listen.
I don't have to ask for anything, but at the same time,
Listen
I also
back.
to be husband. Like, he treats me well. He respects me. I don't have to ask for anything.
What shouldn't she say? My soon-to-be husband, he will respect me. He will, you know what I'm saying? I didn't hear that in her, and it kind of that's again one of those things that raised a red flag when I watched it. It's like, yo, are you kind of off a little bit, because this man is fiction. You know what I mean? It's not there. Dana says, well, it definitely challenges respect for sure. I think love can still be there, but it does also, like you said, devalue that love. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think people fall out of love when they cheat. I don't think they fall out of love when they get caught. Yes, listen to Reed says, but people have all kinds of arrangements now, including ethical non-monogamy. Isn't that a mouthful? Ethical non-monogamy. We'll touch back on that in a second. Listen.
But at the same time, I also do what I'm supposed to do with a woman. I cook, I clean, I suck, I fuck, I shut the fuck up. So I know how to keep my man.
Now, the last part, is really, really one of those, you know, it almost sounded like a commercial the way she said it. She's like, like she rattled it off like she memorized that. You know what I'm saying? Like she said that. That was not the first time she ever said that. I dare say that was the first time that she's ever had a comment like that. I'm sure someone has raised the concern or issue, or she's had this conversation with someone else, and she then derived from that statement, that plot. You know what I mean? Dana says she doesn't have any respect for herself. I do think there's an esteem thing there. You know what I'm saying? I do think there's so, and there's the multiplicity in this situation is this, right? The challenge in relationships is, yes, Dana says it's all about the money and the gifts she gets, it sounds like. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like very superficial on her part to say she doesn't want to give up the lifestyle and, you know, the way he, you know, the things that he does for her. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about treatment. Treatment is him kicking it with other chicks and showing them more respect than they're showing the relationship. And so we can ascertain that already, you know what I mean? But the last part, it definitely sounded contrived from another conversation, and she said it was like a machine gun the way she rattled it off. But again, that conversation is up if you guys want to comment on it after you watch it again and kind of break it down like I did. It really struck me like to have the girl in the conversation today who was really down to earth, who sounded very, you know, it pleased me to hear her say, yep, I can date a man that earns less than me because I will make him better. I don't know if that's the mindset of most women now. What up, Dara? I don't know if that's the mindset of most women. I wonder if women go into a relationship and say, you're going to be so dope because of me. Your life is going to be so much better because I'm here. I don't know if to me, that's the attitude and presence y'all should have, and you should back it up with action. Like, and I'll be honest. I will say for the record that I can't promise you that every man will receive it the right way. I can't say that. I'm sorry. Listen, Reed says, but for some people who grew up without much money, receiving that kind of treatment hits differently. Absolutely. I think that those without who are provided with don't want to go back to a time where they were without. But that's, again, one of those situations where if you don't want to be controlled, if you don't want to be disrespected, if you don't want to go through these challenges, then you take care of that. You check the box on your finances. I believe that when you come to the table, as much as you can, you check the boxes on things that may be mechanisms for control or abuse or lack of good treatment. There are people in relationships right now for a lack of having any kind of control that way. And they take whatever comes to them. Whatever happens to them, it's a circumstance of the condition that they're in. And they're okay with that. And unfortunately, it's not You know, that's the lifestyle. You know, women who get into relationships with, you know, men who are doing things illegally, that's the lifestyle. It's a controlling mechanism. And access to that means it's like a gang, so to speak. Once you're in, I can't let you out easy because you know too much. You know what I'm saying? And we can go down, that's a different rabbit hole to go down, you know what I'm saying, in conjunction to this conversation. But absolutely, you want to remove the controlling aspects as much as you can. Sweet says, I have dated a man who did not make much, but he did not want to move up in life. I was making moves. Yeah, so that's challenging too, is when you're supporting the person that you're supporting, they should already be moving, meaning the train, I say that people would rather get on a moving train than one that's sitting still. That's how you should approach who and how you support. If you don't see this person actively pursuing their dreams, if you don't see this person out here doing everything they can on their own before you got involved, then that's a red flag, and you have to manage that, because you can't instill in somebody that kind of energy to be excited about life. She said, but he did not want to do better. He actually said he was waiting for me to finish my degrees. I had to move on. Now, okay, sweet. Now that's a little different if he was showing support for you. Now, if he was supporting you, if he was making your journey for your degrees easier and lighter, then that's the role reversal in that situation. And there are men out there who do support. You know, they have to take a back seat and support their woman excelling in life. You know what I'm saying? And pushing forward their dreams and their aspirations. That's a real thing. And sometimes it's hard for women to identify it because the roles are reversed. And that's a conversation down the road as well, is how in 2024 and beyond, how the setup to this, the roles have changed. She says, Sweet says on TikTok, he did not putting him down. He stopped working. Now that is problematic, as he should have been continuously at least maintaining to hold you down. She said it was bad. I can't explain everything. Well, I'm glad you did what you had to do to get out of that and to put yourself in a position to thrive, because that is, you know, for the sake of love, some people stay. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of, you know what I'm saying, loyalty, some people stay in that situation. Listen, say, at the end of the day, I am very excited about having a 2-income household. Inflation is high. True story. But in today's society, they've made that a thing. I always have to kind of make sure that we remember our history, because our history has so much value in it. Amor says, everyone has been in a WTF, did I get myself into a relationship to really find yourself? I believe that you can peel off the layers when you go through, when you have those kind of experiences. But historically, we were able to maintain, a one great income household family, and there's still families like that. Amor, listen. The reason I want you to believe it's more challenging in minorities' lives because of all the other hurdles that are set up in front of us. But when it comes to being able to do the traditional thing, those jobs and positions that can support that are held by other people. Not an excuse. It is what it is. And that, again, that's a really deep rabbit hole to go down and listen, because once you start talking about 2 household incomes versus 1 household income, we start to talk about, or we should start to talk about, the dynamic of how children are raised in that atmosphere, who's the nurturer, who's the provider, and how they're being raised. And we see will be that the dynamic that you have when raising these kids is totally different. Whether it's a single family household with the father raising it, whether it's a single household with the mother raising it, as well as both parents being in the house, there are repercussions to all of those. And to wrap up with Sweet said he could have been a bus driver or anything, just do something. And I agree. You know what I'm saying? In those situations, I agree that there has to be something there. She said, I was young back then. I learned and grew up. There you go. That goes back to what Amora said. Everybody's been in the one that really made you find yourself. Usher would tell you have to go through something to get to something. So thankfully, you all went through it, and it didn't damage you in a way where you could not manage and heal and move forward. I think that's what we all want to do is if we're going to experience these negative things, we just want to be able to get through them and come out positively stronger on the other side. But again, to make sure y'all are really understanding what this post meant on the Look Live is you have the power to change the outcome of your situation with whom you're with. I'm going to write this book. I got so much stuff on my plate. I gotta write this book. It's got a crazy name. It's called Never Stop Macking. Amora said, I was married for 24 years and me and my husband maintained, rest his spirit. All right. That's what's up. Congratulations. That is a long time to be married, yo. That is a long time. So congratulations to you. I used to have applause over here, but I don't have it right now. I don't know where it's at. For those of you who are tuning in, I appreciate y'all joining the live right now. This is the Look Live. The way it works is I post on Wednesday a look, and the look is usually something that has come across my table or whatnot. And it allows you to I give a little insight then, but I really try to save the best of the conversation for the Look Live on Fridays. So Friday nights, I'm trying to make sure I'm here at 10 p.m. or 10 p.m.-ish. You know what I mean? And you guys can tune in and enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? But Dana said, I've been married for 30 years and been with him for 35. There's so many different scenarios that come to light within that time frame. No doubt. Because what the understanding is that you're always changing and growing in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You're always evolving, right? And the key, to me, the key is either we're evolving together or you're okay with a slight involvement of one and then the next, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it can't be, I'm going to take 10 steps while you take one. It has to be, I'm a step, you step. I'm a step, you step. It should be like that if you're going to, if we're talking about evolving. Because, again, it goes back to that thing I was saying about stability. Somebody has to be stable while the other person adjusts, or the other person won't have the footing that they need to make the right adjustment when they make it. You know what I mean? That part. No, absolutely. So for Dana, who's been married for 30 years and been together for 35, Amora said, so true, Dana. And Listen to Reason said, lots of forgiveness and communication, I'm sure. Man, on a regular basis, I believe. In long-term relationships, there has to be a lot of forgiveness. But I also think that, the things that keep things going forward is creating those memories that create the foundation for your future. I tell couples, man, y'all got to go hang out. Y'all got to go make some memories. Y'all got to have something that you can look back on. Put them up in the house so you can remember better times. You know what I'm saying? In the negative times, a picture does a whole lot, especially if it shows you at your best. You know what I'm saying? It shows you during your exciting moments. It shows you when you were loving one another. And that's the real reason why there should be pictures around your house, is to support the way you want to feel with the people that are around you. Like, they should take you to the nostalgic moments that helped y'all get to the place y'all at right now. Sweet said, making it work is one of the things you got to learn how with that person. Yeah. Whether you know it or not, we are all training one another. And you have to make sure that you're not being trained in a way that doesn't support your consistency. Amor says, communication, support faith, and standing on positive principles. I like that. Communicating. And so for those who are listening, there are many ways of communicating. You have to find the one that makes the difference to the person that you're with and communicate from that place. We all speak a few different languages. If you're not speaking the one that can relate best to your partner, you're going to have conflict. Even though you believe you're communicating, you have to remember the reason for communicating is for the other person to understand you. I think people forget that. Communication is so that people can understand you. Dana says, yes, love ebb and flows. It's not like you only fall in love once during a long-term relationship. That happens time and time again. That's beautiful. I want to repeat that again. Matter of fact, you know what? I want to post that. Dana said, yes, love ebb and flows. It's not like you only fall in love once during a long-term relationship. That happens time and time again. That's beautiful. You guys take a look at that. What's up, Enough? We're live right now on YouTube. That's beautiful, Dana. I like that. Listen to Reason said, yes, I've prayed to God for clarity and for my love interest. Well, all right. Don't only pray for them, but make sure you include yourself, that you're prepared and ready for them, and you have the discernment to know when they've arrived. You know what I mean? The topic, here you go. Enough. This is what we're on tonight. It's a question. And this young lady asked it so perfectly. I like it.
You go into a relationship with a man that earns less than you.
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would make him richer.
Wow.
Because there's difference, between a good wife and being a bad wife. Because if you always stress him, he will never make it. And if you always take his time and you don't care about his future, what he really wants to achieve, then you will never get a rich man.
Wow. I mean, I get delighted every time I hear that, because I hopefully that clip ignites a conversation amongst yourself where you say, am I the supportive type? And if I am, how do I show support? And are they receiving it the way that I want them to receive it? And does it make me happy to support somebody? Some people ain't built to support other people, and they do it in such a negative way, and it misses the mark. You know what I mean? It misses the mark. And I hope that's not, some of you all situations. Hopefully you are being, that you feel gratified in what you do, but people are grateful for what you do as well. It's important that those things exist when you're supporting somebody else. That's the greatest part of being in those kind of relationships, and being where, again, somebody has to, and to Dana's point, support ebbs and flows from who's needing it at the time. So that's why it requires everyone to push. You know what I mean? If you're chasing your dreams, okay, I'm going to put mine on the burner for a minute, and I'm going to support you to get your breakthrough. And when you get your breakthrough, that breakthrough that you get should also be beneficial for me and the time that I spent making sure you got it. It's not a owing you type of thing. It's just a respect thing. It's a loyalty thing. It's a do unto others kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's very powerful when done right, because you can achieve everything you're trying to achieve for the both of you, not for just one of you, but for the both of you. You know what I mean? Both of you can get there. Remember, like I said, you take a step, I'll take a step, you take a step, and it becomes rhythmic. Whether y'all know it or not, it's funny because it becomes very rhythmic. Amor said, those are the ones that only think about themselves and getting something out of the relationship. True story. When you are really looking to excel and to lead, you know what I mean? It's da-da-da-da-da. So Listener Reason says, can you provide examples of how that manifests, the negative support? I mean, so I kind of spoke on it earlier, right? Is people will support you, but they it's painful. Either it's mainly attitude and their position about things, and you get this. It's almost stank the way someone presents themselves that is supporting you. You know what I mean? That's where the person who is getting the support builds resentment. And again, those people, and this is why I said you have to be a very special person to be in a relationship with someone who's chasing their dreams, because the person who is chasing their dreams, is almost a requirement for them to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? They have to be extremely selfish to achieve. I know people are like, no, they don't. Yes, you do. Like, there's not a person out there that is truly successful that will tell you that they didn't have to always keep themselves first. It's almost a requirement of having your breakthrough, is that you have to stay completely focused. And if you're completely focused, then you're not straying away onto the other side. So while this is happening, the person who has to stand by and support can do it with love, or they can do it with this, it's a real different attitude and personality. You know what I'm saying? And it manifests its way with slick little comments and, little snide remarks here and there. And whether y'all know it or not, people who are chasing their dreams are extremely sensitive. Why? Because they got the whole world telling them it can't happen. They got the whole industry saying they shouldn't be there. They are completely fragile. There's not a recording artist that I've met that isn't. There isn't a person who's been chasing their dreams that isn't. And whether y'all know it or not, one comment can break them down. So you have to be careful of what you say to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to be selfish over and over again until you get the breakthrough. And at the point of you becoming your breakthrough, then the job requires you to continue along that path. Like, honestly, it is a very hard place to be in the shadow of someone who's chasing their dreams. And it's even harder when they absolutely achieve it. This is why it requires you, at the point of you seeing other people come in to help you carry that load of support, you should continue without Instagram. Yep. Instagram is going off, you guys. I'm sorry. You continue without it. Busta Rhymes had a viral reel talking about the need to be selfish when chasing dreams. Absolutely. Because it's known amongst anyone who's chasing their dreams. Anybody who's trying to be successful, I'm sorry. Everything has to be out of your way. You got to have on blinders. You have to be so focused, and it seems it could come off rude to some people or whatnot. But when you have that breakthrough, like I can tell y'all right now, when I was chasing, entering into the music business, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sweet said, you sound like a positive person, Scrap, but that other person could start putting things in place. You have to be positive minded. You have to be an optimist. You have to be driven, knowing. Listen, for me, it was not knowing if I was going to make it. It was a matter of when. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I was. And I spent the time. So when people were like, yo, Scrap, let's hit the club. Nah, man, I'm in the studio. I'm working. Nah, man, I can't do this. I was so disciplined at being able to say no that my dreams had room to say yes to me. You know what I mean? That was the part that was important to me. You know what I mean? I wanted the success. And I wasn't gonna let anything or anyone detract me from it. Not family, not friends. If y'all don't understand, most of us as recording artists, most of us as dream chasers, your family is the first one to tell you, you sure you want to do this? You sure you shouldn't be doing something else? You're so gifted in so many. Like, to be multi-talented and to be articulate and to be intelligent and to have all these gifts that God has bestowed upon me, I was being steered in so many different ways, and I know at first people felt like I was disappointing them because I didn't take the road that they wanted me to take. And I understand. Look, I get it. And unfortunately, I had examples in front of me of people who deterred from their dreams to do things that other people thought they should be doing. And I think it's a life of resentment when you do that. I think that you spend a lot of time, being upset that you didn't jump when you should have jumped. You know what I'm saying? And I spent my 10,000 hours. And in that 10,000 hours, I tweaked. I was learning. I was making adjustments. I wasn't good in the beginning. I had to become good. I had to peel off the layers. I had to fail fast. I had to go through things. And then when I got to where I was confident, I was like, this is not the place for me. And I left the city that I was in. And I said, let me go where people who are better than me are supposed to be. I want to be in that. Listen to Reason said, I said no so much that my dreams had room to say yes to me. Absolutely. You have to. It's imperative. You know what I'm saying? This statement right here, it's imperative. You have to say no so much that your dreams have room to say yes. Sweet says, I have a nephew that thinks like you. His motto is, I have one life to live, and he will enjoy every day as if it's his last. I think that I like that statement, but I'd be like, man, your last day shouldn't feel any different than your everyday. And I get that's kind of like the point that he was trying to make. And I think, why don't we just say that? I'm going to live today and live it to the fullest every day. It doesn't have to be my last. And I don't want to, and on my last day, I don't think I'm going to live it the same. If I knew it was my last day, I don't think I would live it in a way that people think that you would live your last day. I think I would want to be surrounded by friends and loved ones. I don't think I'm gonna be out kicking and partying. I think I just want to be around the people who know me, and I want to share stories, and I want to talk history, and I want to tell somebody something that may be profound enough that they may carry it into the future. You know what I'm saying? I don't get to live every day like that, where you're around your family and your friends and all that. I think your last day, you want to be surrounded by the people to pour love into you. You know what I'm saying? Sweet said he got degrees, does something different. He traveled half the world. That's super dope. Traveling the world gives you experience that nothing else can give you. I love that. I've been in that role. One operates from fear and keeps you chained to an unhappy job while you want to jump for your life. Yeah, man, you got to decide, Dana. Like, you know what I'm saying? Life, you get this life to do your thing. You get this shot to do it. And at some point, you got to say, you have to give no F's. You have to not care. You have to literally say whatever. And you saying whatever to what anyone, because the reason why a lot of us are frozen is not because of what we feel like will happen, but we feel like what other people will say about us by not being successful. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I stopped talking. I stopped telling people what I was doing and just started doing it. When people see me, they be like, yo, like somebody just told me the other day, they said they saw me on CNN on the New Year in the background of a video that was being shown of somebody else. And I was like, yeah, that was me. I was there. And that's how I would rather live my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just make moves. I would rather just make the moves and people hear about it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we've come to a place where people are announcing what they got going on, and that to me is different, because plans don't always work out. And how demoralizing is it? Y'all know, y'all been there before, when y'all said something and y'all was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, that, this, and this is gonna happen. And then when it did happen, you felt bad, you felt displaced. So I got to that point where it's like, nah, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let it speak for itself. I'm gonna let, things just do what they're so naturally supposed to do without me forcing it or without me trying to, put it out there in advance. That's one of the challenges I have with releasing music. It requires you to let people know it's coming and whatnot, because otherwise it has a slow start. He don't share. We hear after it's done. The pigs pops up. Yeah, that's my other brother too. My second to the oldest brother is like that. He'll tell you, yeah, I just got back from here. I just got done. And I think that's a way of being or whatnot that will help us. But to refocus us, I want to run this one more time, because again, I not only like the clip, I not only like this clip, but
because a man sleeps with another woman does not
the delusional
mean he doesn't
girl.
Still respect you.
Let me stop that. Not the delusional girl. I know y'all.
You
like,
go into
what?
a relationship with a man that earns less than you.
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I would make him richer.
Wow.
Because there's difference, between a good wife and being a bad wife. Because if you always stress him, he will never make it. And
she said there's a difference between a good wife and a bad wife. Dude, I wonder if people understand and care that. Yeah, I like the way she thinks, sweet. Like I do. There's some people who are against you if you announce your plans. Absolutely listen to reason. And just so you know, that is a very true thing. And unfortunately, you have to manage and be careful of who you say things to, because not only will some people have the power to detract what you're doing, but just the energy that's associated with somebody who doesn't mean you well being attached to the vibe. Yeah, I don't like that. It absolutely does, Dana. You know what I'm saying? Him traveling. Dana said, my husband travels the world for work. I think that also supports a good relationship. I agree. I think you got to get out and do something. You know what I'm saying? And get out of the other person's space long enough for them to miss you. You know what I'm saying? And then when you come back, make sure you guys are entertaining each other from a loving space. She said it. Don't, there's a difference between a good wife and a bad one. There is a such thing. You know what I'm saying? You can be bad at being the person in a relationship. And okay, so Sweet says, but suppose we support the wrong person. Well, those are things that you should be able to identify kind of quickly, right? You'll be able to see right away, it's not as much of a gamble as picking out a racehorse. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. A person's demeanor and the way they carry themselves within maybe 2 months' time of you associating with them, you should be able to tell if they're truly about what they're about, if they're standing on it and they have the kind of faith that they want you to have. Like, I can't ask you to do something for me that I'm not doing myself. Yep, true. Like that fool I did. Yep. I can't ask you to do something I'm not actively participating in. I can't ask you to support me if I'm not already doing the things that, I want you to help with or you to support or you to buy into. Those are things that you should be looking out for. Are you asking me to do something you're not doing for yourself? I am such a stickler for not associating with that kind of thing. If you are asking me to do something, well, you will have darn well better already been doing it. And I'm just, you know what I'm saying? If you want to get this car started and you ain't at the back of it pushing, then why I'm going to push? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't trying to push your car to move, then I ain't pushing it. You know what I'm saying? It's super logical when we think about it. But all that to say, I've given you guys two clips, one of someone who seemed very delusional and one who seemed to be clearly, on the mark with positioning in terms of the relationship. Yeah, as you should have been. Sweet said, when I noticed after time he is not making moves, I was out. Nobody likes to be on a train that's stagnant. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to be on a train that's not going anywhere. And hopefully the fellas out there will take that into heart. You know what I'm saying? Not any woman wants to be on a train that's not going anywhere. This should be the ride of their lives. Being with you should be the time of their lives. And it doesn't have to be like every single day and whatnot, but it should start off amazing. It should be like a plane flight. It should just be going up, going up, going up. And then it should get to a place where it settles. And yeah, there'll be a little turbulence here and there, but you will remember that you're going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That this turbulence won't last forever. That you have a destination, you know what I'm saying? And it requires elevating and then going through a little turbulence, but still having a cool ride along the way. My mother calls me to get out. She came to visit and she said, you was skidding in the mud if I stayed. That's funny. Yeah, but that should be the extent of it, man. I think she said it best. I love that she distinguished there's, she called it out. There's a good and a bad wife. You know what I'm saying? That's a good and a bad mate. There's a good girlfriend and a bad boyfriend, and a bad girlfriend, I'm sorry. And there's a good boyfriend and a bad boyfriend. And the sooner you distinguish and establish what that is, I think you're going to be fine. Now, before I wrap up, I have been speaking with somebody who I think y'all will enjoy her conversation. There may be a segment of the Look Live that we do, and I'm thinking of a name or whatnot, but it's a friend of mine and she dates quite often. And she's one of my closest friends that I communicate with quite often about her dating experiences. She leans on me for advice, or if she likes to throw different things at me that she's dealing with. And let me tell you, for those of you who aren't dating, you're going to completely enjoy this because you probably would have experienced some of the things that she's dealing with. And hopefully I can get her to speak very candidly about them as much as she does with me when we talk about it. Like, I'm telling y'all, oh my God. Now, of course, we're going to change some of the names of the guys that she's talking about because because I know a few of them, first and foremost, but because it is very, very, very different. Man, when I tell you, she's a real cool, beautiful girl. She's from, Tiffany. It's not Tiffany. Me and Tiffany are not going to, Tiffany Haddish are not going to do a show with that. I'm pretty sure I can get Tiffany on as a guest to chop it up and kick it. But this is somebody else. She's from the islands, which all these things make a difference in her experiences because, it's different when someone from another country is dating in America. And like I said, she's a beautiful girl, and there's some experiences that she has that, are funny in respect to, her dealing with them and the way the guys are coming at her and stuff like that. And so we talk about those things. Like she's spoken to me over the past maybe 7-8 years, almost about just about every relationship she has. It's so funny because I have names for the guys that she's dated in the past. Like she'll describe something about him, I'll be like, oh, that's Smoker, or or that's Lip, or you know what I'm saying, different things that she said. And when she has these conversations, I promise you, I will not. I'll do my best to get her to spill the beans, because when she communicates to me about them, there's a part of me that cracks up. There's a part of me that's like, yo, this is what's happening. Because again, I've been very fortunate to experience a lot, from being in the music industry since I was 17 years old, touring the world, being around different people, being privy to conversations. And I'm a sponge. I've consumed, I nicknamed them because that was the only way I could remember them. But to consume all of the life that I have, it's my pleasure, and I feel obligated to communicate it with you all. My mentor, rest in peace, Bernard Terry, he always made me think like this. First off, the knowledge is not yours to keep. When you learn something, especially around people who are doing something that you're doing, and this is why I do speak on panels, I do speak to the kids, I do go to the schools, I do different things like that. They are the future, and you have to give them the knowledge. You should die an empty vessel especially when it comes to your mind and knowledge. You should, everything that you've ever learned, you should have tried to give it all away. Everything that you should be trying actively to give it to someone so that they may take it and elevate and navigate through this world and this life better than you did. That is our job. It's to leave this place better than we found it. Sweet says, wow, that's deep. You're not a gatekeeper. If you could share to help uplift someone, you do it. That's our responsibility. It is absolutely our job. Hey, what's up, Eve? It's our job to make sure that you have put something into somebody that's going to change their life as they grow. I want to be a part of everyone's legacy. I'll be honest. Yep, spread truth and love, Amor. I want to be a part of everyone's legacy that I come in contact with. That's why I say what she said in this video. I'm going to make the man better. Well, that's my job. My job is to make you better in the smallest increment if I possibly can, whether it's through apple cider vinegar conversation, whether it's through music conversation, whether it's through perspective. You know what I'm saying? Sweet said, Scrap, not everyone thinks like you. Consider yourself different. I can't help but be different. I got green eyes. I've had green eyes since I was little. I was always pushed into being different. And I think that's why I'm so confident at it now. I think that's why I'm okay with standing on my own. That's why I think I'm okay with going the other way. That's why I believe, and I told to somebody earlier today, I said the rules don't apply to me. That's how I live. The rules don't apply to me. Not knocking anybody who follows the rules as long as they don't knock me for not following the rules. Me not following the rules does not harm anyone. And that's how it is. You following the rules shouldn't harm anyone. And I don't feel a way about it. And you shouldn't feel a way about me not following the rules. Although I know people do feel some kind of way and they're like, who does he think he is? And I say, I am him. I am the guy that will not adhere to the system and the way things are set up just because someone set it up and said it should be that way. I question a lot of things. I push the envelope. I challenge the narrative. I dare you to think. I dare you to have a perspective that doesn't go with the masses. I can handle it. You got to remember, I've built for this because I went through so much as a kid that had naturally green eyes. My hair was sandy brown and sometimes red, even from the sun or whatnot. My skin was not this brown; it was orangish colored. You know what I'm saying? And I'll come out. It'll be real. It'll happen every now and again. I don't have hair on my arms. It doesn't grow on my arms or legs or anything like that, based off of my ancestry and things like that. So, I've had to be different. I didn't always like it, and I didn't understand why. I didn't understand that my life was set up to be this way, to be an influencer, to be someone who is strong enough at themselves that they can encourage other people. Listen, there's only one you, and you got to exploit it as much as possible. No Indian, no Irish. Just, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Amor says, what are rules? Yeah, you have to. More like, listen, we have to. And as much as I understand the fact that people put things in place to control people, as much as I can help it, I choose not to be controlled. At least by those narratives. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see? That's what's up, Dana. Excuse me. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all have enjoyed tonight and enjoyed tonight's conversation. Hopefully you all are subscribed. Hopefully you guys are following on some of my other social media sites. I'll post that right there. On Instagram and TikTok, I am it's under Dwight Skrapp Reynolds. Of course, on Twitter, you saw us on YouTube, you see us youtube.com, ICGreen1. You can follow there as well. But those are a few of the socials that I manage. I'm particularly always on, I know, but listen, Eve, one of the great things, Eve said, I'm mad because I came in late. Well, Eve, one of the best things about this is you can watch this broadcast tonight. As soon as it's over. It's an hour and 20 minutes, but it was a very fun, very diverse conversation. We went a couple different ways every now and again, but we kept to the topic of would you date a man who earned less than you and what it means, and just reviewed her conversation and whatnot. The playback is available, and there are ways that you guys can contribute to the channel as well. I think it's called a super thanks and super likes and all these different things. So those are cool to do as well. She said, dang, I'm setting my notifications now. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you guys, we're just winding up. This is the second episode of the Look Live, and it's only going to get better and more entertaining and funner and more educational. Again, I'll go through and I need to look for the clip that I want to play for next week. And I'm not sure. You guys tell me if you like the frequency of once a week, or if you guys think that we should up it to two times a week. Where we go live on this platform and have a discussion. I think we can manage 2 times a week, but that'll be totally up to you guys. I want to make sure we get 1 time a week really supported. You know what I'm saying? And get a nice audience in here before I actually change the frequency. Almost like a proof of concept type of thing, Dana. I don't want to move so fast that I'm not properly building this channel. So I'll wait. But in the future, I think the frequency can be better. I mean, not better. It could be more. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this is a great start to you guys' weekend. Give you guys something to think about. Yeah. Sweet said Wednesday night thing is cool too. Then we get your music stories. Yeah, we may do that. Wednesday night we might reflect on some of the music stories I got there. But again, I gotta, those music stories can be, what I'm saying, something else, and I just have to manage that a little bit. They're fun to talk about and whatnot, and I got video of a lot of that stuff, but we'll have to wait and see. With that being said, you guys, if you are not a subscriber, if you're not following me, you're missing out. Turn on notifications to always. Now, when it says always, that just means when I get online, it will notify you. It doesn't mean like you're just going to get all these random notifications. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how my voice, girl, let me see something. Okay, I might do something. I don't know. I had to test my voice. I really want to do this song. I'm not on here, but I'm thinking about the frequency of releasing songs this year. I should have already released a few records, but I think I got to see how it is. You enjoyed this weekend, listening to R. Kelly song differently. Yeah, man, you should, because he stole it. But so for those of you who missed out, so on Wednesday on TikTok, I was doing a Wednesday wind down, which I go through some of the some of my favorite R&B records, which is some of yours as well, I'm sure. But I play some R&B music that, you know, is reminiscent of those nostalgic times. And this is why I say pictures are necessary in relationships, is because you have to look back on, you have to have that thing that reminds you of something. You know what I'm saying? There should be a song associated with the photos that you have that make you say, man, I remember that was such a moment. And the reason why we have so many challenges right now is that we miss the moments. You know what I'm saying? We miss the moments, and I hate to miss the moments. So I I hadn't planned on singing. I did all this talking and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't planned on singing them, but good night, sweetheart. Oh, it's time to go. Doop 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 doop. Good night, sweetheart. Oh, it's time to go. Oh, good night, sweetheart. It's time to go. I gotta leave you tonight. I hope that was enough. You know, y'all cool with that. But yeah, it is time to go. We spent an hour and 25 minutes. Also, for Sweet, I know Sweet was the only one who was really concerned. I am pressing stop on the record button, and what I will be looking for is a place to, you know what? I think on YouTube is also a podcast, you know, a hub for podcasting. So I just recorded this whole conversation as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it enough to visit the podcast. It'll be just the voice, you know what I mean? Just the conversation without the video. But of course, the video and the conversation will be available for you guys on YouTube. With that being said, I am getting out of all of your faces. I'm getting out of all of y'all faces for a little bit, not for a long bit, but for a little bit. And I may jump on this YouTube format more often just to communicate, but I want to dedicate certain nights to the Look Live because I think y'all will really enjoy us having an actual topic to talk about, having a video feed for you to see where the topic came from, and then to break it down, and then to communicate what that means to you and myself and everybody else. Hopefully you guys will sleep tight. You know, hopefully the song at the end did a little something, you know what I'm saying? Got you kind of laid down, you know what I'm saying? Finna lay it down, get some Z's or whatever. And we'll speak soon. All right? This is your host with the most like butter on your breakfast toast. Scrap with the rapper what's rocking in the ATL and all places everywhere else. Give me a high five. This was the Look Live. Good night, y'all.